Hello everyone, we had our 5th EACT summit in Brussels on the 13th and 14th of April. If we wanted to describe the current context, I would say that it is a world of uncertainty and fast changes, which implies capacity to adapt to new circumstances. In such a world of uncertainties, the treasurer is a sort of lighthouse in a stormy sea. We need to adapt to the current environment. Treasurers have become sort of essential pillar of finance and guardian of the financial temple. They are the chief liquidity officers and key element of a digital transformation. Since the outbreak of the pandemic and more recently the geopolitical disruptions, treasury teams have been operating in a uniquely demanding environment that has stretched resources and ingenuity to the limit. In isolation, most events are affecting treasurers currently are not unique, but never have treasurers had to cope with all these factors at the same time. Think about them, or some of them. The events since last April 22, when we last met, have poured cold water on the treasurer's enthusiasm. We face the biggest interest rate shocks in the recent memory. The high inflation hurts equity and debt markets, negatively impacting business and consumer worldwide. China COVID lockdowns stiffed demand and shocked production. Russia's war against Ukraine sent energy and food pricing skyrocketing. As the QE support programs for market from central banks give way to quantitative tightening, myriad of emerging headwinds have increased uncertainty on a global level. We can add the deglobalization, the new financial regulations and IFRS standards, focus on ESG, mainly E by the way, fast-growing B2C, new way of working from home, quest for talents, retention of experienced treasurers, and new requirement in terms of skills. The list would be too long, I guess. This is an increasing complex world to decipher. There are always new combined challenges treasurers must face, and we all know crises imply new corrective financial regulations. Therefore, what are the Treasury top priorities today, based on the recent EACT survey? The 2023 EACT survey, as had become a tradition, attempt to detect treasury trends and priorities for multinational companies over the coming 12 to 24 months. Logically, this year again, cash flow forecasting is number one. It is lead and followed by the working capital optimization as number two priority, and the treasury technology infrastructure review, as well as replacement of existing IT tools, number three, which are quasi-equal in importance. They are then followed by a few other priorities such as treasury organization and structure, i.e. centralization, new required skills, etc. Risk management, e.g. FX interest rate commodity risk, number 5. Long-term funding, capital market and banks, number 6. Digitalization of treasury, number 7. And eventually the bank relationship, number 8. Financial regulation aren't a top priority. Why? The low positioning of financial regulation can be explained by EACT work and achievement in terms of advocacy. Always anticipate and assess potential impact for peers, sometimes a year ahead of enforcement of regulation, it's an issue. Trying together with Fleischmann-Hillard to defend your interest, helped by the FRAG group, the Financial Regulatory Advisory Group, consisting of a few large multinational companies, and we have obtained successes over the years. However, and especially after crisis, we need to double effort because of the coming tsunami of new regulations. Let me give you a couple of examples where EACT tries to help and influence regulators. For example, on EMIR review to avoid the removal of the intercompany OTC derivative transactions reporting, exemption, and to redefine the concept of hedging, which should remain principle-based and aligned to IFRS standards and rules. We can also mention the efforts on Basel III to avoid the new proposed weighting of bank guarantees, which could lead to an increase of cost by 150%. Among other topics, we also advocate on instant payment to enable bulk payment and to ensure the free IBAN name check for all payment and even not only for the instant ones, by the way. There are many other examples we could list. Now, what EACT can do for you? EACT advocates and has become the voice of the treasurers and the real economy, recognized across EU institutions and beyond. We play an important role, although unknown and confidential, in flexing and softening regulations. But we can be much more than that. For example, in exchanging between NTAs, in connecting people, in determining the best practices in treasury and IT and technical standards, as well as education. The last 21 years, EACT grew and continued to federate associations across the whole Europe. In the current uncertain environment, our role is then ever essential to defend our members. But also, much more than that, we can be much more than that. We can also grow by attracting new members, by supporting creation of new NTAs. We can develop more bilateral exchanges between NTAs. We can enable and facilitate benchmarking and sharing of best practices. Not sure that there are many other international professional organizations with such a solid European organization. Before concluding, I wanted to thank our members for their support, members of National Treasury Associations, TMI, who organized this summit, and also our kind sponsors for giving us the support. And of course, we should finish by thanking you, all the delegates attending this event. See you all next year. Cheers.